What's happening, people? Dan Lawless here, West Ham Fan TV, and I'm back with another opposition preview ahead of the West Ham versus Leeds game. That is right, Leeds are back, and I am here with Leeds fan Kagey from Kagey POV. Good to finally get you on the channel, mate. You're back. You're back in the Premier League, and finally, after what seems like a very long time, nearly 10 years, West Ham and Leeds are going head to head. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, man, all good, man. I'm looking forward to this preview. It should be a good one. Good preview, good game coming up. So this is going to be great content for people to check out.
Yeah, like I do a lot of these previews, with Tottenham fans, Chelsea fans, Man United fans, Arsenal fans, right? And, I always feel like I give as good as I can get. But it's nice to actually, when you do previews with the teams that are seen as in and around you, fighting for the same spots or whatever, because you feel like it's almost like a little bit more of an even playing field, because they can sit there and pull out, their oh yeah, we won the Premier League like 2 couple of years ago and all of that. So it's good. But I mean, first of all, before we get into the game, how are you feeling it's been a long road back to the Premier League. How are you feeling to be back up here, mate?
Yeah, man. Listen, it's been long overdue, and it's been 16 years too long. Bad ownerships, as you can vouch for. Bad ownerships, bad players that just, they couldn't hack the badge. And I'm sure you had the same thing at West Ham too, where you get a player from another club, they seem to be the best, say like a Reading, and then as soon as they put on your shirt, the badge and the fan thing is too heavy for them, and they just shrink. They can't cope with it. We had that for a while as well. So, we're talking like when we got taken over by Radrizzani. He brought in Marcelo Bielsa after Gary Monk and Paul Heckingbottom. I mean, but yeah, Marcelo Bielsa come in and just change the fabric of the whole club. So when I first saw his link with Bielsa, I didn't think he was coming. He's come along and he's just turned the whole club around. So all prayers to Marcelo Bielsa.
Yeah, I mean, a manager that West Ham were linked with following Big Sam. Like, he was a name that I think we actually interviewed. And there's two stories. One is that we turned him down because he couldn't speak English, and the other one is he turned the board down, which both are believable, because I can see the board going, don't speak English, no, and I can see him going, I don't want to work with these clowns.
Well, on that, I mean, we come up into the Premier League. Marcelo Bielsa hadn't signed his contract until the day before the Liverpool game. He makes sure that everything that he wants is around the training ground, everything's in order before he puts pen to paper. So that is quite believable if the board weren't willing to, bow down to what he needed. So I can believe that as well. And I can definitely believe the thing about him not speaking English, man.
Yeah, it's one thing. Now he's become a big hero, like in Leeds. Like, he is a big hero. It's been a weird one for Leeds, because when I look at the table, it feels like Leeds have done better than the table suggests. Like, it seems weird, because you've had these like great results, like scoring a lot of goals and things like that. And it's just like, when I look at the table and see 14th, it's a bit weird. It don't seem to reflect the feeling around the season. It seems like it don't reflect the performances in a way.
Right. Yeah. And this is something that I was always prepared for with Leeds United. I got a prediction of where we're going to finish at the end of the season. So being around 14th is where I think we should be at this point in time. And also, with our style of play, we're going to win handsomely. We're also going to lose some. And that's where you mentioned our goal difference earlier. I mean, I would say about 3 of those goals have been when we're chasing the game, and then someone's just gone up the other end and tapped in the easy one, and then it's game over. So there's all those kinds of things. That's our style of play. So if you can get some of your players, like if Benrahma's starting, Jared Bowen, who was we talking when Jared Bowen signed for you? If you can remember.
Yeah, I'm sure he was one that you was bigging up to me, and you said, like, listen, this guy. I'm sure I remember you coming and you rating Jared Bowen.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I don't know the ins and outs with the beast with the board and everything, but lately you've been getting your transfer policy on point. With Benrahma, Bowen, Souček, you've been doing all right there. And I said that Jared Bowen is going to be a big player for you if you give him the chance, and you've given it him, and he's thriving. He's absolutely thriving at your club. So, but on that side as well, you see, you've got your Bowen, we've got our Rafinha, we've got Jack Harrison. So this is what I mean. This is why the game is so interesting to cover, because we're both people that believe our club should get something out of this game on Friday.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's a weird one, like because how deadly Leeds have been in games, and I am going into it confident. Because of there's that whole thing of, like you said, you guys are susceptible to leaving yourselves open at the back, but you're deadly in attack. But I mean, you look at if I go in, like we said about the goal difference,
Yeah,
-4, we're +4. But like you said, in some of them instances, like someone's caught you out of a goal. However, you have scored 16 goals in the league. West Ham
yeah,
have scored 18 goals in the league. So even attacking wise, we have been more of a threat attacking
right.
wise. And you guys have conceded, it says here, 20
20.
goals, and we have conceded 18.
Yeah.
So defensively and offensively, because we're not obviously like you've got certain games where like it's been like goal fists, and you guys have that in you where you can go in and like score 3-4 in one game.
Yeah.
But I suppose there might be the odd game where like the Arsenal game where you guys battered Arsenal and
Yeah.
just could not get the goal, could not get it in the back of the
Frustrating.
net.
So frustrating. That game was just. I mean, Leno was great for them that day. So you have to give the goalkeepers credit when they saved the team. That's what
Yeah,
they're for.
and the post and the
And the
crossbar.
post, yeah, the post crossbar. I mean, it was so frustrating that day. But then we also had games. So we lost 2 games in a row, 4-1, right? But the one against Leicester, yeah, I mean, it's Leicester. Jamie Vardy on the break. That game was perfect for someone like Jamie Vardy, and absolutely perfect for him. Crystal Palace was so disappointing, but on those games as well, we didn't have Rodrigo, we didn't have Calvin Phillips, and at this point of our Premier League stage, we can't be missing 2 players like that. There's other players that we could miss out, and we'll get to that. There's other players we could miss out, and we can slot someone else in, no problem. But Calvin Phillips is so special. And again, for the media, and I'm sure they'll hype it up, it will be Declan Rice versus Calvin Phillips. There's just so many things in this game. That's what I'm saying. It's just going to be interesting. But Dan, I want to go to that league table. When you said to me earlier today, yeah, we're about pretty talking pretty confident for someone in 14th. I thought, I know West Ham are playing good football. I know they're doing all right. Let me just see where the 3 points.
3 points and an 8-goal difference, like a
3
goal
points,
difference.
Oh Lord, but yeah,
But I think like
hilarious.
there is the thing because you guys play the football that you play. I think there is a little bit of thing with Leeds fans having their chest out. I mean, you guys like last in the Championship last season again, like played so well, played some great football, was blowing teams away. I mean, you guys didn't come up the way Wolverhampton did and start like Wolverhampton. I mean, they did do well when they came up, but they was talking about like Champions League, or I mean, I've never and same with Villa, but it was the way like, and I can see why you guys are happy with the football that you're playing. But that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like you were so like as if, because I was like, yeah, I'm sure like we just have to outscore Leeds, and you was like your perspective was like outscore Leeds.
Dan,
What?
the thing is, we both as clubs, minus goal difference, all that aside, we both have the same amount of clean sheets. So if our defense is wide open and we've only conceded 2 more goals than you, come on now. The problem is, you know what it is with the way that we play, because we play such gung-ho football on the attack. When we misplace passes or concede goals, you'll always hear a commentator or a pundit say, "Oh, that's so sloppy from Leeds," because they're used to seeing, with all due respect to Crystal Palace, they're used to seeing that conservative football where people are just passing it here to here to here to here, very very slow football. Whereas we're not doing that. We're moving in triangles. We're moving on the counter attack. In the 94th minute, we'll push 8 people up. And yeah, sometimes we'll get a goal. Sometimes we'll concede. But that is our ethos so far this season. And it's worked. In fact, it's been our ethos since Bielsa's been here. So I know that people think that we're wide open, but we can't be that bad if we've only conceded 2. I mean, you're certainly not wide open.
No. Like we since we switched to that 5 at the back, we have been pretty solid defensively. A couple of errors here. Obviously, that game against Man United was the only game apart from Tottenham where we conceded more than 2 goals. So, that one, and one of them shouldn't have even stood. But that's been the league this season. Welcome to VAR, by the way. Hope you're enjoying it. But looking at and what gave me a little bit more confidence. I mean, you can tell me how much of a loss this is. I understand that it's a fairly important player. I don't know. Is it Coach or Coke? Because I see some people say Coke. I hear someone say Coach.
Well, we say it's Cock, and which gets a lot. It gets a lot of laughs, but apparently that is it. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but apparently it's Robin Cock.
Okay, so Cock, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Injured for the game, out for a while. Obviously, speedy recovery to him, but could be a boost for us in terms that he's missing the game, considering that you already have what some see as, potentially a vulnerable defense. It's not the worst defense. I don't think you have a terrible. Like you've had a few games where you've conceded a lot of goals, but then, like you said, you've had those clean sheets, right? But that there is the potential for you guys to be a little bit open at the back when you are going on the attack. So how much of a big loss would you say that is for you, and looking into the Friday's game?
Okay, yeah. I mean, me personally, I wanted to see Robin Cock and Llorente partner each other, because for me, although Liam Cooper had a really good game on Saturday, he hasn't got up to speed of the Premier League. And I knew this coming into the season anyway, that there's going to be a few that just weren't going to be at a level but they'll be good enough for where we probably stay up, But if you're going to advance from that, we're going to have to move on from some of these players. So I want to see Robin Cock and Llorente partner each other. So as it stands now, it'll probably be Liam Cooper and Llorente partnering each other. And Llorente is just another Robin Cock in a way that he's a ball playing centre back. So he'll be the one that will carry the ball out, pass it forward and try and make moves from there. So it's a loss, but it's not a major loss. It wasn't the loss that required a Cox out. We should bury this team now. It is a loss, but it's not that much of a loss. For me, though, we have another couple of selection things where I want to see. We've got a player called Alioski again, somebody that shouldn't be starting consecutive Premier League games. I want to see him back on the bench, Stuart Dallas back to left back, and Rodrigo starting. For me, if we're doing that, especially at home, we've got to do that to be positive, and especially in the next two games against yourselves and Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, I wasn't saying like we should bury you or batter you. I was saying we should outscore you, whether that be like a 3-2 or a 4-3 or whatever. It's a case because I know like you guys are going to come at us, right? I know you're going to put us under pressure. I know you're going to create chances. I think this could be one of the bigger tests for Fabianski. But I feel like we need to use that opportunity to pick our spots and hurt you guys. Like, it was frustrating against Man United. We cannot have that again. We cannot be in a situation where we create all of these chances and then don't stick them in the back of the net. You guys do have a dangerous attack. We were talking about Mr. Patrick Bamford, as I called him, the 2020 Pookie. He's on a run now. How long is it gonna last? I mean, a lot of people was actually dismissing him when you guys came up, and he is proving a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, and I was one of those people. Unlike other people, I'm not going to remix my opinion and act like I was always on the Bamford train. There's a lot of people now that are all of a sudden forgetting what they were saying, writing before, that they thought Bamford was going to be the answer in the Premier League. I was one of those people. I thought, this guy has literally scored 16 goals in this team. And 16 goals sounds like a lot, doesn't it, for a season? But in our team last season, that's a poor total. Because you had Carlin Grant down at Huddersfield near the bottom of the league. He got 19, and they were creating much less than we were. And that was a problem in the Championship, whether it's the physicality in the Championship, because in the Championship, you got rough and tumble defenders like Aidan Flint and all these guys. They can get away. You can't get away with that in the Premier League. And I think the Premier League is suiting his game more, because you just can't get away with some of the stuff that you can do in the Championship. Now, whether he is the next Timu Pukki, who knows? But at the moment, he's cannot fault him. And I'm sure even the most loyal Bamford lovers who thought he could do it in the Premier League would never have thought he would have 8 goals at this stage. That's insane. I mean, I know that if he rounds a keeper, he did on Chelsea, he rounded the keeper and put it in. I know he isn't going to trip over his feet and then just do some.
He had to throw that out there. Listen, we're gonna talk about LA, man. We're gonna talk about LA. That chance,
bro. Come on, man. What?
Just I don't. I listen. It was one of them games. It was one of them games because there was a whole lot of other bad chances that was missed, and I have no idea what happened. I think there was someone done a space jam on our strike on our attacking players, and for some reason they just could not get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was insane, wasn't it? It was crazy. Absolutely nuts.
I don't understand it. I mean, looking at this game, like, are there any players that from an opposition that you're worried about or you're looking at and maybe a bit concerned about on West Ham's side of things?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from set pieces, Suchek, first off, we're not the greatest at defending set pieces because we're not the tallest team, and Suchek is everything the opposite of how we defend corners. So, Suchek. I don't know if Benrahma's starting, but obviously I know Benrahma before from Brentford. I know how good he can be. Jared Bowen, of course, I know about him. Striker, is Antonio going to be fit? Do you know?
No, he's definitely not fit. So we're looking at Allaire, basically.
Okay, right. Yeah, and also going forward as well, on that left-hand side, it will be a good battle between Masuaku and Ayling because I like the way Masuaku plays. Got a nice bit of skill about him, good crossing. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't like dismissing West Ham out of hand. Why I think that we can win this game. It's just that if we come up to the Premier League and can't look at games at home against West Ham and Newcastle and think we can get wins out of those, there's no point us being here. So I think that's why I think it's going to be such a good game. And also as well, we've already mentioned the Calvin Phillips versus Declan Rice thing. We've got Mateus Click in there as well. I don't know who your other midfielder is.
There's something about Declan Rice, yeah. This is what I want to say about Declan Rice. There is something about Declan Rice that fans of other teams with young players come for Declan Rice. Everyone wants to send for Declan Rice. It was the flipping Newcastle fans with what's his name? Longstocking or whatever his name is. Pippi Longstocking.
Yeah,
there was that.
Longstaff.
Yeah, Longstaff, that's it. And he shushed him. And we had Arsenal fans with their Guendouzi. We've had, and now the new one is Leeds fans coming for Declan Rice with Calvin Phillips, who I have to admit, he looks so far this season, he looks to be a quality player. The question is, and it's the same with like Longstaff, it's a case of being able to sustain it. And Declan Rice has been one of our most consistent players for like 3 seasons now, right? Near enough. And to have that level of consistency, it's going to take a lot than like we've got a young player who's looking promising, who's a bright spark. But for some reason, everyone else comes for which says a lot about Declan Rice, that he seems to be the standard where other teams compare their young players to Declan Rice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed it, and not on social media, especially with England, like Calvin Phillips should be playing over Declan Rice.
Yeah. Well, this is it for me, and I actually like Declan Rice, and I think he's gotten better over this past year. I wasn't so convinced with him at first, but he's a young guy anyway, and you can see that he's grown and improved his game. Especially, I would say since the turn of the year, he's added so much stuff to his game. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, because now he's trying to get forward more. He's trying to focus on the attacking part of his game, and that's what he wants to add. Goals and assists as a defensive midfielder, which is, I think it's only going to make him better. So it is good. It's obviously ultimately it's good for England to have two of these young promising players in Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, battling it out, whether they can play together in the same team or they're fighting for the same spot. It's ultimately good, and you touched on Benrahma. This man needs to start now. He needs to start. He's already got 2 assists, with like 3 substitution appearances. The man needs to start. He scored against you guys last season, and I think the last time you played in like a 2-0. He will know Leeds more than any other player. Like, probably, nearly just as much as Bowen. So I have a Bowen and a Benrahma, but Benrahma more so will know about Leeds. And to have him in the side, I think will be a huge boost. Him and Allaire together, and it always becomes with our fans. It's like Fornals or Benrahma. If you want Benrahma to play, it means you don't like Fornals. It's like, no, you just need to try something else. You need a different speed, and Allaire needs that. And I think that could be something that's.
This is it, Dan. You play the game, don't you? So when we played Palace, Roy Hodgson wasn't stupid. He let Eze have a start because he knew that this was a game where Eze would be able to get on the ball, counter attack the way Palace do, and affect the game. So David Moyes, I'm sure, will be looking at it and say, Saeed, you know this team. I know how you play. I know what you've got in the locker. You'll get the start today. It would make sense to play against Leeds if you're an attacking player. Even Haller, I mean, I know he had joy against Sheffield United, but if this is a game where he's looking to build his confidence, especially after last week, then again, this is a game to start him in. So yeah. I completely agree with all that. You do have other players. I mean, you've got a good team this year. I mean, it's your defenses. I mean, I've always rated Fabianski, by the way, especially since he moved to your club. I think he's the top goalkeeper. So, he'll be another one where you have to do something special to get past him. So, yeah, Benrahma, Bowen, of course, always a threat. Yeah, you got a few threats. Is there anybody on our side, if you've been watching, that you're wary of apart from Bamford?
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, you've got Calvin Phillips, Alioski, I believe how you say it. Like,
yeah,
he's looking to be a really good player for you guys. We have scored in every game we have played in, except the Newcastle game at the start of the season where they just caught us out. There hasn't been a game where we haven't scored. And to be such a threat going forward in a Moyes side, no one thought that would be possible. And going up now against such an attacking manager with Bielsa is going to be very, very interesting. This is one where it's going to be hard to come out of a score prediction.
Yeah. I hear you.
Because it could be a goal thriller, but it could just be like a 1-0. That is the thing.
Yeah. I hear you. But at this stage, what you saying now?
What score prediction?
Yeah, and I want goal scorers too. I just want to hear who you think can score.
All right, but you're the guest, really. That's usually I will ask you, and I'll hear what you say, and then I will drop mine. That's usually how it goes. Yeah, taking over the show.
All right,
been in this league like 5 minutes and already taken over, right?
Jeez. All right then. All right, shall I go for a score prediction now then? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it. And then, like you said, goal scorers.
Okay, right. So I'm gonna go because you know what I didn't mention. We've got a big bounce back ability about us. When we lose, we come back with a vengeance, right? So that's what I'm counting on, man. So my boys better not let me down here. All right. So I'm gonna go 3-1.
3-1. That is confidence, because that's to say that, you know what I mean, you're gonna put 3 past us and we're just gonna get one. Us conceding 3-1 back to back. We just lost 3-1 to Man United. Okay, who are the goal scorers then?
I'm saying Bamford with a brace and Jack Harrison with 1. He's due a goal. And for you, I think who's Diop from a set piece.
Diop won't play, you know. I guarantee it.
He won't play.
And Ogbonna.
Okay, well, we'll go Souček then from a set piece. Corner.
Okay. Do you know what? All right, I'm going to flip it on you and say 3-1 West Ham, because we need to bounce back. Our attacking players should be so fired up after all them chances missed. They should be burning to score. So I'm going to go for Jared Bowen. I'm going to go for Souček set piece, as you said. And I'm going to go for the man getting his first goal for West Ham, Benrahma, Saeed Benrahma. If Moyes, you better start him. You better start him, because we need someone who has that brain, who has that full brain, who has that clinicalness, who has that decision making that Fornals doesn't have. I love Fornals, but it's the decision making. If we are going to like counter attack, like Kagey said, you have to be quick and you have to think quick and make the right pass at the right time, and be there to put the ball in the back of the net. So that's what I can see happening. So it's going to be an interesting one. This is a game that I really want to win. I'm sure you want to win.
Yeah.
I really want to win this game because I know I'm going to have to deal with you. I'm going to have to deal with my uncle over Christmas. That is going to give me grief. So please let us go and get this win. I want to keep pushing up the table, but we'll see. Like I said, it's less. I don't want to see that hand sign. I don't want to see that hand sign. The only hand sign I want to see is us giving you the L.
Hey.
Right? That's it. So it was good to finally be able to get you on. So everyone do check out Kagey's channel. If you see him near Rush Green with his binoculars, call the police, call the security guards, get him out of there. Get him out of there, because you never know with these Leeds guys and their spies. But
Lord.
I had to bring that up.
You didn't have to bring that up. It's old news, man. It's
old news, but it's old news, but it's good news. It's listen, you wasn't with us in the Premier League when that was going on, so only now we can really throw it at you guys. But you know, you never know what you can learn at Rush Green, apart from how bad our training facilities are. That's one of the big things you'll find out if you go over there with your binoculars. But yeah, no, like, tell everyone like where they can find you, where they can follow you, and what you've got going on over there.
Yeah, man. I've my YouTube channel is very new. It's Kagey POV. Same on Twitter. You probably find me mostly on Rants and Bants show every Monday. On Rants and Bants channel, I should say, we do a show every Monday where we review the weekend's games and talk a lot of crap. So yeah, man, that's it. Find me on Twitter, Kagey POV.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'll put all the links down the description below and in the comments, and tag you all on Twitter and that. So do go and check him out. Like I said, it's great to finally be able to have a Leeds fan to chat with, because like I said, I've got family that are Leeds fans, and now we've got you guys up here. So yeah, go and check out the content and see what the Leeds fans are saying. See how upset he is after the game. See how emotional he's going to be, and how much humble pie he will be eating. Go over to his channel after the game. As you know, we will be doing a watch along, so Kagey can come over and watch and see our watch along and see how happy we are. See us celebrating the goals. Look out for that, fan cams, post match pine, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so nice one once again. Thanks, Kagey. And one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.
Leeds.